It's summertime, and for thousands of people, that means it's time for boating, water tubing, or maybe swimming in hopes of beating the summer heat. But all too often, those fun activities lead to thousands of injuries and hundreds of deaths. But the ironic part is that with a little effort and perhaps more education, those statistics could be dramatically decreased. And that's why water safety is the topic of this edition of our Issues Tampa Bay. Hello, I'm Jen Holloway. According to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, every day in the United States, as many as 10 people die from drowning. And for every person who dies, 5 more receives emergency care for non-fatal submersion injuries. But what's even worse is a majority of these deaths and injuries occur right here in Florida. Well, All Children's Hospital is hoping to lower these statistics, and they're offering the Florida Safe Pool Program. Jean Shoemaker is the Safe Kids Outreach Coordinator at All Children's. She joins us now with more. Jean, thank you for being here.
Thank you for inviting me.
Tell us about the program. When did it start and why?
Actually, our Safe Kids Coalition at All Children's Hospital has been in existence for more than 20 years now. Okay. And for more than 20 years, we've been looking at the statistics as it relates to water incidences with kids and wondering what we can do to prevent injuries. And we tried multiple types of initiatives, and we just didn't seem to be making an impact. So a group of us got together in sort of a think tank mode and said, what can we do? And we came up with the Florida Safe Pools Initiative, and as a result of a mini grant that we received from the Florida Department of Transportation, we were able to initiate this campaign. And this campaign revolves around what we refer to as the 5 layers of protection.
Okay. And what are those 5 layers of protection?
Okay, the first layer of protection obviously begins with you, the parent, the caregiver. But we also understand that today parents are very, very busy people, and they can't always have their eyes on their children, regardless whether they only have 1 children or multiple children. So what we want to do is talk with parents and families about setting up those layers so that because we want everybody in Florida that wants to have a pool to have a pool.
Sure.
So, but we want to set up those layers of protection so that the child, youngster, baby cannot get to the pool without the parent knowing that they're out there. Sure. So first of all, we're talking about baby gates inside the home to prevent the child from going out. If you have a pet and you have a pet door, you want to make sure that that pet door is secured so that the child cannot crawl out and follow, max out the pet door. And then we have door alarms and on your doors or your windows, and I brought a couple today that we have, and we were able to purchase with the grant that we got and that we have available for families at no cost. If we go out and do a pool check at their pool.
Right.
Now, like children and like homes, pool alarms are not all the same. So this particular pool alarm is one of the best out there, but it might not be the most appropriate for your home.
Okay.
So we will talk with you about that, and if you want it, it's yours.
Wow.
On the other hand, we'll also talk with you about other pool alarms that are available to you and your family. We want to make sure that inside the home too, that you have good visual on your pool outside, so you can see it hopefully at all times.
Right.
The third layer is outside the home, and we want to make sure that the outside is secure as well, because you may be a pool owner and you may not have children, but you live in a neighborhood where there are children. So you want to make sure that there's some type of fencing around your yard so that other families' children can't enter without permission.
And not every pool fence is ideally safe, correct? I mean, you may have a fence, but it may not be as safe as others, so they do need to be looked at, correct?
Well, I don't know that safe is the word, Jen, to use, because with each new pool construction, in order to pass your code inspection at the end of the day, you have to have a fence, and it has to meet the standard.
Okay. What about older homes, maybe that have been grandfathered in? Do they have to be checked?
No. So pools that were built prior to 2000 were grandfathered in, so they do not have to adhere to the same standards. Okay. However, if you have an older home and you build a new home, then yes, your new home has to meet the the standards,
pool, right.
the new pool standards.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
The standard is a 4-foot fence.
4 foot.
And while that's great, we all know that kids like to climb, and that's what they're supposed to do. So best practice for us is a 5-foot fence.
Okay, perfect.
Some fences, and what we also think is a best practice, is to make sure that that fence has a self-closing, self-latching gate.
Okay.
Because obviously if you have your hands full and you're going out to the pool, you may not remember to close the gate.
Lock behind you.
Yeah.
All right,
So,
next layer.
okay. And then the fourth layer is making sure that, after you have been playing in the pool with the kids and their toys and floaties and all this kind of great stuff, that you bring those things out so that the child doesn't go back out and want to get the reach in and get the toy out.
All right.
And then beyond that is the fifth layer, and that is obviously swim lessons.
Yes.
So we want families to we really encourage families to get those swim lessons.
Okay. Now, for somebody who says, I can't afford a swimming instructor or lessons, can you hook them up connect them to people for free lessons?
I can certainly do that, but they can do that themselves.
Okay.
Because here in Florida, we know the importance of swim lessons. So I don't know of many Parks and Recs kinds of pools and YMCA pools that don't offer scholarships available.
And how many counties if somebody lives in Manatee or Polk County, can they still reach out to you?
Yes, we have Safe Kids Coalition. Our Safe Kids Coalition covers Manatee, Pinellas, Sarasota, Polk, and Pasco counties. Okay.
All right.
So if they call us, we have Safe Kids members in all 5 counties that are willing to go out and do that pool check.
And do the inspection. Does the inspection cost anything?
It's a public service, and so our Safe Kids members go out there and do it as a public service.
Wow.
Because we want to make sure, because that's how we are able to make a difference in those statistics that you read when we first started.
And how long does this inspection take?
That varies. Okay, but I would say on average 30 minutes. Again, it depends upon the size of the pool, what kinds of layers of protection are already in place that the family wants to discuss, whether or not they want the pool alarm, they want us to help them to install the pool alarm, those different kinds of things.
And last thing, Miss Jean, talk about your badge you're wearing today.
Oh, my necklace, yes, okay. Well, and especially right now, the 3 peaks during the year when water incidents for young children are really very high are the Memorial Day, 4th of July, and Labor Day. So we're coming up to the 4th of July, so we have a lot of those backyard cookouts and things of that sort around the pool, which is really great. But we want to make sure that you always designate one person to wear this badge. That says, my job is to watch the kids that are in the pool.
Not be on my cell phone.
No, reading a book, no. You are watching the kids, whether it be an in-ground pool, above the ground pool, a wading pool, whatever.
All right, folks can get those badges by contacting you.
They can call us, and
they're free.
They are absolutely, they're absolutely free, and on the back then there's a list of the safety tips.
Excellent. Ms. Jean Shoemaker, thank you for being here. Thank you for the Safe Pools program. I think it's great, and I know you're saving lives.
I hope so. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much. Well, when we come back, we'll hear how, in just a moment, things can go drastically wrong in the water. Stay with us for more.